Hi, I'm Deborah. I live in Canberra, Australia, and this is my YouTube channel, which I've started to try and do something about my unfinished project problem. I'm basically a quilter. I also do some sewing. I've done some dressmaking, and I'd like to get back to that. I knit. I occasionally crochet. I've made a couple of bags, and I have some in my list of projects that I need to get to. And other things if they take my fancy. So I've got an approach that I'm hoping is going to work. I was listening to a YouTube video by a young woman called Lena Norms a little while ago, and she was talking about how we make New Year's resolutions that are designed to fail. Basically, we tend to make very black and white resolutions, like I will run every day. And as soon as we miss a day, then we start to feel like we failed, and that's when we give up on the resolution. So, what she was suggesting as a different way to set some goals for the year without them being rigid was to use a bingo card system. So a bingo card has a grid on it, and they're all filled with different numbers. And there's somebody up the front who's rolling a bunch of balls around, and they pull one out and they call out the number, and you mark your card when you've got that number. And if you get a row, a diagonal, an up and down, a side by side, a whole row marked off, then you've won. And so, what you basically do is you decide on what things you'd like to work on this year, what things you'd like to learn, what things you'd like to experience, and you put them on your bingo card. And that is your goals for the year, but there's no rigidity in it. You can pick and choose, you can work on it when you feel like it, and then if you get a row, then you've won. You are the best person in the world, and you don't have to put any more pressure on yourself that year. So I thought that was a good approach for me. I hate deadlines. I don't like rigid schedules. I don't like rigid lists. I don't like particularly being told what to do, even when it's me doing the telling and writing the list. So I thought this was a really good approach. So I made up a grid on my computer. I just used the table button on Word and made up a 5 by 5 because I thought I've got a few unfinished projects. 25 is probably enough. I started on one side of the wardrobe in my sewing room and filled up the first bingo card, and I wasn't out of the wardrobe yet. And so I made up another one. I finished in the wardrobe. I started on the table in my sewing room. It wasn't until then that I realized how many projects I had on the table that I'd picked up, done a bit on, then just put aside to come back to, and then something else shiny called me, and they were still sitting there. So I finished my second bingo card. That's another 25 projects. I made a new card. I finally got off the table in my sewing room. I finally got out of my sewing room. I got into the wardrobe in my bedroom and filled up another card. I made another one. I went downstairs to where I have a trestle table set up, and I work on there sometimes in front of the TV. And that's where my knitting fabric and patterns are, knitting wool and patterns are, and any crochet projects that I might have. And I filled up another bingo card. So I had 4 with 25 projects on each. I have 100 unfinished projects in my house. And I hate to admit this, but after I decided 100 was enough, I found a couple more. They're staying in the cupboard for the duration. I'm not even thinking about them. So I pulled myself up off the ground where I'd sort of rolled into a ball and whimpered for a little bit and thought clearly the bingo cards need to be laminated. So I went off down to the local office supply store. We laminated it. We had a discussion about the best type of lamination and decided that the non-shiny one, the matte one, is actually the best because I'll be marking things off with a marker. And so that's laminated. And I came home and thought, well, I have to keep it all together. So I hole punched a little hole in the corner of top left corner of each one. And I had a beautiful blingy duck key ring that I bought when I was in Rome last year. And so I've threaded everything onto the duck, and that now hangs on the design board in my sewing room. And I look at it every time I walk in or out of the sewing room, and there's a constant reminder that there are things I could be working on that if I want to get a line, I have to actually focus on something for a while. And then I started a bit of a cleanup in the sewing room. So I have a couple of videos about that, some of the plans for the things that were on there, a couple of the other things that I'm working on. So I'll pop them on now so you can see what I'm going to be doing. There's a big summer storm coming through, so you may get some thunder in the background of this, and hopefully I won't lose the light. But these are the bingo cards. This is number 1. They're a bit hard to separate actually, but anyway. This is number 2. What I did was I put something that I would identify the project and then also where it is, because I have got so many places where I stash things. So now I'll be able to find them. This is number 3. This is actually now in my bedroom wardrobe, some of it, and some of it is in a cupboard down in the lounge room. And this one has come back into the sewing room because there were a couple of things I missed, and there's more clothing in this. I do want to get back to doing a bit of dressmaking this year, though I have so many other things that need my attention, it might not happen. But I really miss the dressmaking. I used to be good at it. I haven't done it for years, probably 20 years, and I miss it. I have so much dressmaking fabric. I have so many patterns. I have so many gaps in my wardrobe. So hopefully I will be getting back to some of that. And there's the duck. So cute. And it's sparkly. Let's see. It doesn't sparkle much in here, but anyway, there. So I'll just show you where I'm hanging it. It's here on my design board. Oh, I'm in the light. I've still got light. I'm in the way. Okay, so it's on my design board. I go past that. There's the door. I go past that every time I come in, every time I leave. And it will be beautifully positioned for me to mark it off. Just had to go and find the textures that I bought. Naturally, I put them away somewhere when I tidied up. Could not find them. So I'm looking forward to just getting some of those colours on there. That'll be really fun. And I've started taking videos for the projects that I've been working on, so they will be along soon too. I decided to do another video for the start of the cleanup for the project bingo. So I will finish now, and video number 2 should be going up at the same time as this one.